She is the founder of Hope Be Lit, a grassroots initiative aimed at empowering women and children to enhance their current and future quality of life. And I'm going to let her speak more about this. She's also the director, writer, and producer and musician of Voices Unheard films. And in addition to her work, she's also a somatic and therapeutic movement healing coach, a Qigong practitioner, and nominated amongst 24 Indian women in the US making an impact. And she's definitely been making an impact with this organization as well. She's received the Gwen Luminary Award recipient. She's also a Nadi Shakti Award winner for MMIF. It is my pleasure to invite Ms. Ruhi, also known as Rohini Haq. Please, a warm welcome for her.
Thank you, thank you. At this time, I actually want to welcome Shri, our celebrity, and our keynote speaker. Shri, please. And sorry about all these delays. We will be cutting the rest of the panels a little shorter and also reducing the questions because of the impact of time we had in the morning. So please welcome our keynote speaker with some applause. Shri Saini. So Shri Saini, who's with us today, it's just amazing to have her here with us. A very inspiring story. You will hear her later on. And she's also the first ever Asian Miss World America in 71 years. So that is the representation we need. The first Asian, not just Indian, the first Asian. She also is the first Asian to ever represent USA in Miss World and actually be the first runner-up. So please give it up for her. I will hand this back to Russia to invite our next speaker. And sorry about the limitation on the timing. Our speeches and panels will be cut short because of the lack of time we have right now. Thank you.
Thank you, Ruhi. All right, our next speaker is Ashish Pandey. He is an Ayurvedic expert and has helped in its revival in the West. Under the guidance of Gurudev as VP of Education at Shankara Incorporated, he's a certified art of living teacher and has transformed the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. He founded Copperwell to bring wellness through copper-infused supercharged hydration. He lives here in Los Angeles with his loving family. It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Ashish Pandey.
Jai Bhavani, Vande Mataram, Jai Gurudev. This was just a wake-up call after the beautiful lunch that we had. How are we all doing? Good. At least two of us are doing good, which is nice. You know, there is an ancient saying that Guru bina gati nahi, right? So we have shared a lot today about the amazing work that we all are doing, inspired by Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Ji. You know, I just also found out that it was not only in India, but he protected the Sanatan Dharma even in Sri Lanka at that time. The Marathas protected the Sanatan Dharma in Sri Lanka also. You know, it is really amazing. And you may also know the story of Shivaji Maharaj when he was an emperor of India, battling for protecting Sanatan Dharma, right? But at one time he got tired and he went to his guru, Samarth Ram Das Ji, right? And he said, I am done. Please, you help, you take over, you know? And his Gurudev said, okay. He goes, Shivaji Maharaj puts his mukut and his sword in the feet of his Gurudev. And his Gurudev says, okay, I accept your surrender. I will rule. And he says, as Shivaji Maharaj was leaving, the Gurudev calls and says, okay, but will you do something for me? And Shivaji Maharaj said, anything for you, Gurudev. He said, now I am the emperor, but you be my Senapati. You rule this as for me. That is when Shivaji Maharaj rose to where he is today, became a legacy. You know, this is the unseen power of our siddhas. right? Unseen power of the blessings of enlightened beings that we have today. You know, there are so many of the esteemed panelists, speakers before me. Many of you are so much more experienced than I am, and so much more wisdom to share. But one thing that I have noticed, you know, being born in India, grown up there, I studied artificial intelligence in school and I worked in AI field in the early 2000s, and then moved to natural intelligence of Ayurveda, holistic lifestyle, bringing and reviving Ayurveda in the West. And what we have seen over and over again is the blessings of our elders, the blessings of the enlightened ones, the blessings of gurus, is the thing that has held this country together. You might know of Adi Shankaracharya. He had 4 disciples, and he sent all the 4 disciples in 4 corners of the world, of India. And today, what India is left is the places where they went and established wisdom, Sanatan Dharma, right? So I usually, you know, I do more talks and stuff. Instead of talking, maybe we can all just, you know, our presence speaks more than our words, isn't it? So maybe we can all just close our eyes just for a few seconds. Let's all sit up straight. Close your eyes and just become aware of your body. Let's all take a nice deep breath in and hold that breath through the mouth. Breathe out. One more time. Deep breath in. Hold this breath through the mouth. One last time. Deep breath in this time. Fill up your lungs. In, hold. Through the nose as slowly as possible. Breathe out. And notice the difference in the state of our mind. The body is relaxing. The mind is getting settled. Love, peace, unity is our nature. I'm very grateful to be here and thank Vijayji for inviting me here to be part of this esteemed group and leadership program. You know, peace starts from within, unity, intention starts from within, right? And leadership should be, as Vijayji, we should not shy away, right? India has been a leader, golden sparrow of the world, and it's time for all of us to come together and rise again and guide the world. Thank you very much.
Thank you again for that little reset that you gave us. Thank you. Thank you so much. At this time, as they're taking their photos, I would like to start leading us into panel 2, which is navigating the entrepreneurial ecosystem, fostering innovation through adaptive leadership. And for this panel, we have 3 special guests. All the way from India, Professor Ganesh Ramakrishnan, who is currently serving as an Institute Chair Professor at the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Bombay. His areas of research include human-assisted AI and ML. He's very passionate about boosting AI research's ecosystem for India. And one of his latest initiatives of national importance in India is a generative AI ecosystem for India under public-private partnership. And he is leading that. He's also been leading a large language modeling initiatives for India at Bharat GPT as well. So thank you, Ganesh, for joining us. Also, we have joining us is Scott Fox, the CEO of the Startup Council. He is a 3-time best-selling entrepreneurship author, serial entrepreneur, startup advisor, community builder, and an angel investor. An advocate for startup founders and ecosystems worldwide, Mr. Fox has written 3 best-selling books to increase access to Silicon Valley-style innovation and investment for entrepreneurs globally, and he mostly mentors and invests in early-stage software companies specializing in startup fundraising and growth strategies. And our third panelist for this panel is head honcho at Expert Dojo, an active startup accelerator in Southern California, Mr. Brian McMahon. He specializes in helping entrepreneurs become more successful in their businesses by using all the tools available to him as owner of the largest peer-to-peer peak performance academy in the world. Expert Dojo improves the success rate of early-stage entrepreneurs with investment, foundation, showcasing influence, and community. And being a startup business can be a lonely and difficult path he believes to navigate, and he's here to help. So thank you all for being here with us. Let me join you here. Hi, how's everyone doing? Well, let's start off talking about adaptive leadership. If each one of you could talk to me about what adaptive leadership means, and I'm going to combine this with how that also helps entrepreneurs identify and leverage opportunities within a market that's rapidly changing.
Thanks for this warm welcome. As an academician, to me, adaptive leadership is actually acknowledging the strengths of the academia, the industry, and the government. Academia can be great at being trusted, but they are scale deficient, they are delivery deficient. On the other hand, industry can be trust efficient, but could be extremely scale efficient. And, well, scale could also come from the government, but delivery becomes a problem when you bring in the government. So how do you bridge scale efficiency, trust efficiency, and delivery efficiency by bringing these three together? For example, has been a great experience for me through the Bharat GPT initiative, the first of its kind where academia, the government, and industry have come together through a public-private partnership. So this, I would say, is adaptivity, identifying your strengths and acknowledging the strengths of the others in a systemic way.
Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I'm Scott Fox. I'm a local in Irvine, so thanks. It wasn't too bad a drive up here. So thank you, Rasha and Vijay and Rui and Ashok and other folks who invited me here today. So adaptive leadership, to me, I'm really a startup guy. So to me, adaptive leadership is really what you're seeing into the startup land, which is people moving rapidly, managing growth based on assumptions that update rapidly. So startups are all about growth. We're trying to find innovation and accelerate it so that we can change the world. So that's why I was excited to be invited here today with the motto of unity, leadership, and community. That's kind of what we do in startups, but we do it with small teams with the goal of growing those teams so that they can impact and change the world for the better. So adaptive leadership in the startup context is really about creating a culture, I think, that allows you as a manager, but also your team to delegate authority to those who are closest to the problem and solve it in an expeditious way. I'm not an expert on this. That's what ChatGPT told me. No, I'm kidding.
Thank you, Scott. And again, thank you all for inviting me and allowing me to be a part of this very special event that you're all having. And my name is Brian McMahon, as was mentioned. I am the founder of Expert Dojo. We've invested in over 300 companies. All of our companies are extremely early. We've invested in many Indian companies, probably about 40 or 50 companies from afar. And we're actually opening an office in India. So at the end of the year, that's pretty cool, right? So, you know, it's funny, when you talk about adaptive leadership in early stage, that's like Monday. It's every day. When you're a late stage startup or you're a corporation, it's fine. Like, you have to think how you adapt to the day because every structure is in place for years. But when you're an early stage startup, you're trying not to die. Like, that's your job, right? You have this idea that nobody else understands why you're doing it, because you're definitely not doing it for money, because there's no money at the start, like you've made this pledge to be poor. You're definitely not doing it for your family at the beginning, because your family are going to go through the most tumultuous relationship over the next 3 to 5 years. And so you do it for a thing which nobody else really understands, but you understand when you have it. And I think Dr. Shukla said really nicely about the things that people really care about, which is your kids and also about hope. But I add like an extra piece in there, which is about purpose. And I think early stage founders, they really understand this piece about purpose. And every day, really, if you're going to be the most adaptive leader you possibly can, the idea is to transfer that purpose from yourself to your team and then to the people that you impact on a daily basis. That's when you become a truly incredible adaptive leader.
Thank you. Do we have another microphone here as well? I have been guided to make these short, but I do want to ask you guys this question, given all of your expertise, is that when we have community meetings and networking like this, and we know that startups can be challenging as well, how do you encourage people to navigate the entrepreneurial ecosystem? Like, how do they manage what they're doing and use these types of events to navigate that ecosystem?
Thank you again. I think the first important purpose that these events serve is reinforce a common goal. Shivaji Maharaj, for example, reinforced the common goal of Swarajya. Now, when you have the why very clearly outlined, a common vision, a dream that drives everyone around, which happens through a networking event like this, I can imagine the Shivaji Maharaj and the Malwas and Ramdas Swami and all his mentors, when they would come together, they would actually develop the vision. So these networking events are great for the vision, the why. We shouldn't just plunge into the how and the what without reinforcing the why. And then naturally follow the how. How, for example, what I mentioned earlier, I think very beautifully articulated, how they can be complementary expertise from different personalities. But even there, it's important that each entity might have to go beyond a bit of their comfort zones. For academicians, it's often very challenging to go out of the comfort zones of their blue sky thinking, and their own publication drives, which is very important. I don't undermine that. For me, what has been very interesting is every time I sit with an entrepreneur and define the problem together, it actually pushes me very hard to get out of my comfort zone, not only furthering my research, but also thinking in a way that I don't try and find a solution to a problem that doesn't exist. Right? So the problem is driving us from the word go. I think that's another point, a very important purpose served by such networking events, co-evolving solutions, co-evolving the vision, the pathway that lead us to the solutions. I think again Shivaji Maharaj serves as a great example. He co-evolved with the Malwas. In fact, he would even put himself in the background and ensure that the next generation leadership is ready even as the solution is being evolved.
Very nice, thank you. I think about it in terms of 3 Ps. This is from one of my books, but purpose, passion, and problem. Entrepreneurs are always solving problems, and the kind of leadership demonstrated in startup organizations that at least the 2 of us focus, I guess all 3 of us focus on a lot, is trying to find that leadership around where your passion, something you're interested enough to kill yourself for. I don't mean literally, obviously, but you're really going to bust your butt to really accomplish something. And that's solving a problem. Where those circles start to overlap, becomes a purpose. And if you can align those 3, you have a purpose because there's a problem that you are passionate to solve. That starts to put you in a position to step forward to your team and your people and be the leader because you are the one driving change. And what's exciting about that is it doesn't just apply in business. It applies in your life. It applies with your family. It applies with my kids, right? Like, where's the purpose, the passion, and the problem solving come together? If you can find that alignment, I think that's a good example of adaptive leadership that applies anywhere in your life.
So it's really interesting being in this group of people. And this is, I'm Irish by origin. I always feel that, like, as Irish people, I have a great affinity with Indian people. I think it was the English that helped us, actually. I feel like Kilman Chef. And if I'd have gone back for sort of 60, 70, 80 years, and Scott and I were talking about this earlier on, I think Americans were the greatest entrepreneurs in the world. No question in my mind, like, this country was built on entrepreneurship. No other country was built on entrepreneurship. Not Ireland, not England, definitely other countries around the world. And if I was going to go back like 40 years, I would say Israel were the greatest place for entrepreneurship in the world. Like, again, no question in my mind, the numbers speak for themselves. There's absolutely no doubt in my mind that Indians are the greatest entrepreneurs in the world today. Like zero doubt. And that's borne out by the amount of CEOs that we're seeing, how we've seen the rise in entrepreneurship over here. If we look at the Indian market, like we're not going to India to open up a fund over there because we're nice people and we want to help support a different region. We're going there because it is the most exciting ecosystem in the world. That's it. So that's my foundation. On top of that, there's also, I've always had a great belief that, and I think Dr. Anand said it really nicely when he talked about love being made visible, and he spoke about like how when you care, then that really drives a beautiful thing. But I don't think you can care for other people if you don't care for yourself first. And caring for yourself first means empowering yourself to give the maximum impact. So if we look at what the opportunity is today through entrepreneurship, I think there's a beauty in being able to embrace the purpose, but I also think there's an obligation in being able to build to become something greater than you could have possibly imagined, so you can then transfer that out to other people. So like you guys have like the most amazing opportunity over the next 10, 20 years in entrepreneurship. And what you really have to do is embrace it, to learn the fundamentals of entrepreneurship, to transfer those fundamentals, to take the wealth that's going to be generated and create just the most amazing ecosystem and country that you possibly can.
Thank you. It's like we're getting some mentorship lessons right there. Just a reminder for everybody who's out here too, please do write down your questions because there will be an opportunity. I know we're not doing them within each of the panels, but we definitely do encourage you because this is a very unique opportunity that we have with these special panelists. So I have to wrap this up, unfortunately, but thank you very, very much. I know SMAP has something special for the three of you as well. And thank you again for your time. We appreciate speaking with you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
It doesn't happen unless we post it on social media. So I'm going to take a selfie. Can you all wave and we'll just say hi? All right. Where's Brian? There we go. I can't see you waving. Excellent. Thank you very much. I'll see you on LinkedIn.
And Scott, you have a YouTube page, I think, as well, right?
Yes, that's right.
And what is that?
It's youtube.com/Scott Fox. Every Tuesday, fourth Tuesday, I do office hours. If you have an entrepreneurial idea, you can come on and I eat lunch and I answer questions. Happy to help. We're really focused on software companies mostly, but if that's your thing, happy to help. And Brian has lots of resources at expertdojo.com. TEDx speaker, yeah. And of course, you've heard of IIT. It's a little startup university.
And here's a shameless plug from me. Do visit decile.org, decile.org. It's actually for data efficient learning, democratizing machine learning, making it computationally efficient, making it possible for resource constrained environments to use machine learning. That's an open source offering from us, thank you, which is used in all the startups that we came up with.
Thank you. Scott, you want to just give a plug for the kidnapping of the American dream?
I would just say, if anybody's looking for investment, just like apply. Send me an email, brian@expertdojo.com. We invest in early stage companies. That's what we do. Like, we empower through growth, and I think we've got the best growth hacking program that exists anywhere. But we do it through investment. So anybody looking for investment, like I've done lots of stuff, loads of people can find about me, but this is more about you than me. So if you're looking for investment, just email me, brian@expertdojo.com, and if we can't do it, then I'll point you in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.